Good morning, boys and girls. This week our mentor story of the week is called The Legend of the Poinsettia. Poinsettias are maybe Christmas flowers that you have at home that look like this. They're red and now they come in white, and there's even some that are red and white. And a legend, of course, like you know, is the history of it. And how did the poinsettia, the flower, become a Christmas flower? So this story is retold. So that means someone else has heard this story, and it's illustrated by Tommy DiPaolo, who is a very famous author and illustrator. So today, when you're listening, I want you to think about the story elements. The story elements are the title of the story, easy. The setting, where does this setting take place? Who are all the characters in the story? And remember, we want to know the problem and the solution. All right, you can see here's a picture of a little girl, and she's holding a candle, and she looks all dressed up. I wonder where she's going. Let's find out. This is what a poinsettia looks like, okay? Here's the village that she lives in, so that might give you a hint as to the setting of the story. There's a church and a lady and a little girl here. Okay. Lucinda lived in a small village high up in the mountains of Mexico with her mama, her papa, and her younger brother and sister, Paco and Lupe. Papa worked in the fields with their burro, Pepito. Every evening, Lucinda fed Pepito, gave him fresh water, and filled his stall with clean straw. Now, let's just talk about the setting. Did it tell us? Remember, the author usually tells us right away in the story the setting. That's right. The setting is a small village in the mountains of Mexico. Characters: Papa, Lucinda, and the donkey Pepito. All right. At home, Lucinda helped Mama clean their casita, their little house, and put out the tortillas for their meals. So that in Mexico, they call their homes casitas. She took care of Paco and Lupe, and each evening they went to the shrine of the Virgin of Guadalupe near the front gate to see if fresh candles were needed. So they would go to an area that they put candles at each day. But every day was not work. On Sundays, the family went to San Gabriel in the square where Padre said the Mass. And all through the year, there were fiestas and holy days, which always began with a procession that wound through the village and ended in San Gabriel. So what do you think a procession is? A procession is a long line, like a parade, okay? Now, as you can see, these people worship on Sunday, and we worship on Saturday, and other people worship on Sunday. And they go, their church has lots of decorations and things like that, okay? One day, close to Christmas, Padre came to their casita. "Ah, Senora Martinez, buenos dias, good day." Sorry, but my Spanish isn't very good. If Debani was reading this story, she would do a really good job. Padre Alvarez said, "I am here to ask you about the blanket which covers the figure of baby Jesus in the Christmas procession." So he came to ask about a blanket that was going to be used in their procession or their parade that they were doing, maybe the story of the birth of baby Jesus. "We have used the same one for so many years, but it is worn out. Because your weaving is so fine, I have come to ask you if you would make a new one." "Ma Padre," Lucinda's mom said, "I would be honored, and Lucinda will help me." So he asked her if she would make a new baby blanket for the baby Jesus in the program. And she said she would be honored. She was pleased that she was asked to do something so special as to make a baby blanket for this special procession. On Saturday, Lucinda and Mama went to the market to buy the wool for the blanket. They chose the finest yarn they could find. At home, Lucinda helped Mama dye the wool the colors of the rainbow. "These colors will shine throughout the church," Papa said as he watched Lucinda and Mama string the yarn on the loom. So this is a loom that you put yarn on, and then as you weave it together, it makes like our clothes. So they were going to make this blanket from from just the yarn and into a beautiful blanket, and it was going to all be colorful. As Christmas grew closer, everyone in the village was busy. All the mamas were making gifts to place at the manger of baby Jesus in the church. The papas worked together putting up the manger scene in San Gabriel. Lucinda and the other children went to the church for singing practice for the Christmas Eve procession. So they call their Christmas pageant a Christmas Eve procession, when everyone could walk to San Gabriel singing and carrying candles. Once inside, Padre Alvarez would lay the figure of baby Jesus in the manger, and the villagers would go up and place their gifts around it. Our gift will be the blanket for the baby Jesus, Lucinda told her friends. I'm helping Mama weave it. So she was very proud and very excited that they were making the very special blanket for baby Jesus. One afternoon, a few days before Christmas Eve, Lucinda and the children were singing in the church when Senora Gomez came hurrying in. Lucinda, Lucinda, you must go home. Your mama is sick and your papa has taken her down to the town to see the doctor. You must take care of your brother and sister until your papa returns tonight. Oh my goodness, Lucinda was frightened. Mama had never been sick before. When she got home, Paco and Lupe were crying. They were frightened. They didn't know what had happened to Mama. Lucinda tried to comfort them. She made some food and she sat down to wait for Papa. And then you can see she put them to bed. That evening, Papa came in looking worried and tired. He drew Lucinda close and said, Lucinda, mi Nina, your mama is ill. Your aunt, Tia, will come take care of Mama until she is well. But I must go back and stay with Mama until I can bring her home. But it won't be until after Christmas. Senora Gomez will take care of you and Paco and Lupe while I am gone. She will come for you tomorrow. So Papa had to go away and take care of Mama, and the children had to stay home with someone until even during Christmas. The next afternoon, Lucinda overheard two women talking. Oh, Lucinda's mama is ill. She won't be able to finish the blanket for the procession. Oh dear, isn't that a shame? See, the other woman said, we are all so disappointed. Padre Alvarez will have to use the old worn-out blanket. And who's listening to all that? You're right, Lucinda. When Lucinda went home to feed Pepito and get clothes for Paco and Lupe and herself, she looked at the unfinished blanket on the loom. So they had just a little bit of the blanket done. Perhaps I can finish it, she thought. But when she sat down and she tried to weave the yarn, it got all tangled. And the more she tried to untangle it, the worse it got. It was no use. She could never finish the blanket by herself. So what is the problem, boys and girls, in our story? The blanket for baby Jesus is not finished for the procession because Mama is very sick. That's right. That's the problem. She took the unfinished blanket. Oh, look what a mess it is, boys and girls. She took the unfinished blanket to Senora Gomez. Oh, Lucinda, it's so tangled. There isn't time for me to fix this, she said. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Lucinda started to cry. It was all her fault that the blanket for baby Jesus was ruined. Her family wouldn't have a gift to place at the manger of baby Jesus. Don't worry, Lucinda. We will all go to the procession together. Lucinda didn't say anything, but in her heart she felt that she had ruined Christmas, for she had no gift to lay at baby Jesus. Oh, are you making connections to all our other stories? Remember, all our other stories, when someone didn't have something to give to baby Jesus, giving your heart was enough, wasn't it? That's right. Okay. Come on, Paco. Come, Lupe. It's time to go to the procession. The big parade here. Senora Gomez called on Christmas Eve. Where is Lucinda? She was nowhere to be found. Lucinda was hiding. Do you see her over here hiding? She's embarrassed that she doesn't have anything. She feels terrible. From the shadows, Lucinda watched everyone gather for the procession. The candles were lit, the singing began, the villagers walked to San Gabriel, and they all were carrying gifts to place at the manger. Lucinda walked along in the darkness and watched the procession go into the church, followed by Padre Alvarez carrying the baby Jesus. Right here. See him? Everybody's got things to give. Little girl, are you Lucinda? An old woman stood in the shadows nearby. "See, I have a message from you. Your mama is going to be fine, and your papa will bring her home soon. So you don't have to worry. Now go into the church, celebrate Christmas with the others. Paco and Lupe are waiting for you." "I can't," Lucinda told her. "I don't have a gift for baby Jesus. Mom and I were weaving the most beautiful blanket, but I couldn't finish it. I tried, but I only tangled up and made it a bigger mess." "Oh, Lucinda, any gift is beautiful because it is given from the heart. Whatever you give, the baby Jesus will love because it comes from you." "But what can I give now?" Lucinda said, looking all around. Was there anything here in this picture she could give? A patch of tall green weeds grew in a nearby. Lucinda rushed over and she picked a big armful of them. "Do you think these will be all right?" Lucinda turned to ask the woman, but she was gone. Kind of like the man who was on the side of the road and then disappeared, correct? Lucinda walked into the church. It was blazing with candlelight. The children were singing as she walked quietly down the aisle with a big bundle of weeds in her arms. "What is Lucinda carrying?" someone whispered. "Why is she bringing weeds into the church?" another murmured. Lucinda reached the manger scene. She placed the green weeds around the stable. Then she lowered her head and she prayed. A hush fell over the church. Voices began to whisper. Look at the weeds." Lucinda opened her eyes and looked up. Every single weed was tipped with a flaming red star. The manger glowed and shimmered as if lit by 100 candles. It was beautiful. When everyone went outside after church, all the clumps of tall green weeds that were along the roads throughout the town were shining with these beautiful red stars. Lucinda's simple gift had indeed become beautiful. And every Christmas to this day, the red stars shine on top of green branches in Mexico. And the people call the plants La Flora de Nochebuena, I can't say that, the flower of the holy night, the poinsettia. So boys and girls, what was the solution to our problem? The problem that poor Lucinda's blanket was not finished in time for the procession to give to baby Jesus because her mother was sick. But how did the story end? That's right, it was a Christmas miracle. The weeds all bloomed into beautiful poinsettias. And who was our change agent, boys and girls? Who was the person that helped her solve her problem? Usually you meet in a story, there's a character that you meet. And this was the old woman that helps someone think of a way to solve their problem. So today, you are going to do the title, the setting, the characters, the solution, and the problem. I'll tell you more about that later. I hope you enjoyed this story. We're going to make poinsettias later.